Here's some words you haven't heard in quite some time. The Mets are streaking, make it 6 wins in a row for the Metropolitans following their 7-5 win in 10 innings over the Padres on Friday night. Let's talk some Mets baseball with the host of the Subway to Shea podcast. That would be Anthony Rivera, who joins me now. Anthony, I'm not sure we've done this. I'm not sure we've talked after a Mets victory, and they've had 6 in a row. This is uncharted territory for us.
Yeah, this is definitely the first time in our conversations that the Mets have actually won a game that we got to talk about. And the fact that not only it's been one game, but we've got 6 games in a row, a lot of excitement going on, a lot of hope. And that's what, we all need as Met fans right now.
Yeah, Mets fans needed that. Let's talk about this, Anthony, because the Mets, they are perfect in July after a June that had many fans down on the team, down in the dumps. What has changed for this team in the 7th month of the year?
Well, it all starts with the starting pitching and quality pitching from those starters. We've had them over the last 4 or 5 games going 6 to 7 innings. We got 2 8 innings back-to-back from Cookie Carrasco and Kodai Senga. That has not been done since 2015, since Bartolo Colon and Noah Syndergaard did that. Big thanks to Sarah Langs for those stats. And plays have been going their way, right? We had the Robertson play in the 9th inning in Arizona where the ball hit off him and went right to Alonso for a huge out. You had the Pham bait play on Kim last night, which was a pretty huge play. And they're getting big clutch hits when they need it. Alvarez is injecting life into this team that no one would have thought would have been done this early into the season or, kind of getting this late into the season. So the pathways to success is there for the Mets. They're finally putting it all together, and hopefully they can finish out this first half a little bit on top and with good vibes going into the All-Star break.
Yeah, we'll see if we can do that. They will try to get a series win against the Padres this week, and they took the first one of the 3-game series on Friday night. Now, the Bats, they've come alive this month, but right now, the Franciscos, they've been the one tearing it up at the plate. Francisco Lindor and Francisco Alvarez. What have you liked from the hitting approach of Lindor and Alvarez this month?
Well, with Francisco Alvarez, it's the clutch hitting, right? I talked about Sarah Langs earlier. She had another stat. 5 game tying or go ahead runs in the home runs in the 6th inning or later, which is, pretty huge. I've heard on the Mike Francesa podcast comparing him to Mike Piazza, one of my favorite players of all time in Mets history. Seeing what this kid has been doing, like I said earlier, seeing him inject life into the lineup. You see the team in the dugout and how excited they're getting for the big hits that he's been providing. And then you look at, Francisco Lindor over the last 7 games, batting .429, on-base percentage .515, slugging .929. He's got 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 4 stolen bases, and 9 runs. He's putting it all together offensively, defensively. He's being a leader on this team that we all know he can be, and he's really come together in this stretch. And we all thought, it has to be Lindor and Alonso to carry this team. But how now we put the name of Francisco Alvarez? I don't want to put too much on him, but he has taken a lot of the burden for this team. That 2-strike, 2-out home run in the 9th inning could be what we talk about at the end of the season. If this Mets team takes the playoff, that could be the turning point of the entire season.
Yeah, it could very well be. And he has been a very exciting young player that has produced as of late, Alvarez, that is, for the Mets. The last thing I want to talk to you about here, Anthony, is Mike Puma of the New York Post. He reported that the Mets starting rotation, as it moves towards full health, team officials are considering various options, including using a 4-man rotation that would include Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Kodai Senga, and either Jose Quintana or Carlos Carrasco. The Metropolitans, they're not going to need a 5th starter until July 22nd. Do you think the Mets should employ a 4-man rotation that would give their aces an additional start this month?
Yeah, I had to think about this long and hard because you have to consider, right? They always give Kodai Senga that extra day of rest. Will that mess that up if they do implore that move of the 4-man rotation? But, coming out of the All-Star break, getting a week off, you got to get Verlander going again. You got to get Scherzer going again, and they like to pitch on normal rest. Carrasco, who just pitched 8 innings. You want to keep him going. Quintana, he may be one that you want to get a couple of starts in there because he's coming up from the injured list, and he's going to need to get himself acclimated now to major league batters. So I'm not too upset with this move if they do implore it. I just am a little concerned and worried about how this affects Kodai Senga and him usually getting 5 or 6 days rest and a week off. And we saw how well he pitched in Arizona, getting those 8 innings. So a little concerned, but maybe this is what's needed to get these guys acclimated to coming back from the All-Star break.
All right, we'll see what the Mets do there. Will they go with a 4-man rotation? Right now, the number 6 as they head into play on Saturday night. 6 wins in a row for the Metropolitans. Hope is alive, as Anthony said, and we'll see if that hope stays alive for Mets fans. That is Anthony Rivera, the host of the Subway Touche podcast. Check him out there. Anthony, good to talk to you, as the Mets have been not just a win, they've been winning, which is a good thing. I hope we get to do this again.
Definitely. Let's get some more wins, and let's get this team above 500.
Let's see if that happens. All right. Thanks, Anthony. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you, Dexter.